I'm back in the cab with Ian Bailey. He is co-founder of a company called Asset Match. Ian, welcome to Reuters on the Road. We've got a loop for you to tell me about this one. Now, this is billed as the UK's first comprehensive platform for trading shares in private companies. Do we not have anything like this?
No, there are one or two small businesses, one of which we acquired a couple of weeks ago called ShareMark. But we're the first one to have a combination of really strong technology and a team that can go out and acquire the companies. The size of the space is huge. There are 3,000 companies in the UK with turnover over £20 million and with more than 10 shareholders.
And this is also, I saw it described like this, a shop window for companies to access investment. Is that what it's mainly about, this?
It's mainly about creating liquidity. It's about the secondary market. Liquidity since the credit crunch in small company shares has really declined. The intermediaries don't have the capital they used to have.
And the banks, the providers, have pulled back, right?
Exactly. And their focus has gravitated to the biggest markets and the biggest companies. So the small company markets have become very liquid. And in private company shares, there's really no forum to put buyers and sellers together. And that's what we do. So
peers together in this electronic marketplace, if you like, buying and selling shares in private companies.
Yeah, exactly. And the two big factors which we think are very well aligned at the moment. One is that there are lots of successful businesses with angel investors who've been in for a number of years. The exit path of IPOs and trade sales is not what it was. So there are a lot of shareholders in successful businesses who'd like to sell part or all of their shareholding. And on the other side, we have institutional investors who are having to become accustomed to a low return environment, to whom well-run, mature private companies can make very good investments.
And this, of course, saves the company money as well. If you're not going to be listed on the AIM market, etc., this is one way of doing this cheaply.
It is. Yeah, we have a different formula than an exchange would have, which charge the companies a lot of money, but tend to don't charge the buyers and sellers anything, or not very much if they do. Whereas we feel for small companies, actually, to charge the companies as little as possible, but to charge the investors some sort of commission to buy and sell, particularly as buying and selling is going to be pretty infrequent.
So that's how Asset Match makes its money, charging the investors. What sort of charges are we looking at, and how often? I want to talk numbers a little bit to you. You know, what are revenue targets like for you?
Well, as I said earlier, the space is huge. The commissions we charge will be between 2 to 5% depending on the size of the transaction, but 2 to 3% is the normal commission on either side of the transaction, which when you look at the bid offer spread on most AIM stocks actually ends up being pretty insignificant. Lots of AIM stocks have 10, 15, 20% bid offer spread. So if a buyer or seller is executing in the middle of that and being charged 2 or 3%, actually they end up with a much better all-in cost of execution.
You came from investment banking? No, yes, you're a trader, right?
Yeah, I was a trader.
So this is quite a nice fit for you.
Yeah. I think we understand liquidity. We understand how you put buyers and sellers together, and that's one of the profound changes that's taken place.
We talked briefly about this, but what's happened to liquidity now? I mean, when are we going to see it come back in any meaningful fashion?
Well, I think we're not going to see it come back to where it was 6 or 7 years ago, which was a very unusual state of affairs with hugely well-capitalized institutions, intermediaries, with, one might say, an inflated appetite for risk. And that's gone away. And we've got to get back to creating liquidity rather than liquidity being provided.
Right. And this is what Asset Match helps to achieve.
And that's where the technology is important, to be honest.
Very quickly, we're almost there now. Plans to expand? What's the growth strategy?
For the time being, our strategy is to really take it to get through to this 3,000 companies in the UK. In the future, Germany is twice the size of the UK in terms of
So Europe before the US?
Yes, definitely.
All right, Ian, many thanks for being in the cab today.
Thanks a lot.
Ian Bailey from Asset Match. That was Reuters on the Road. I'm Axel Threlfall.